Mo catch a tiger by the toe. Oh, sorry, you caught me playing Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo with my helmets, trying to decide which one to road test first. By the way, thank you for commenting on our last video, the Shoei Neotec II versus the Schuberth C4. Thank you for watching, obviously. It was very successful, so we're very happy with that video. And thanks to your comments, we decided to do a comparison between the most sporty modular helmets of this moment, the AGV Sport Modular and the HJC RPHA90. Obviously, you can see them here. I want to start by telling you a couple of things about the helmets before we take them out for a ride. The HJC RPHA90 over here is made from a P.I.M material, which is fiberglass, Kevlar and carbon fibre, all put together in different layers to make a very strong and light outer shell, which they have succeeded with as it weighs 1,450 grams, more or less. The helmet comes in 3 different outer shell sizes, which by the way is exactly the same as the AGV, which also comes in 3 shell sizes. The HJC has a micro ratchet made from stainless steel, which is very comfortable, and it also has a polygene interior, which also, as you can imagine, is comfortable and also very fresh. Moving on to the AGV Sport Modular, a helmet made from full carbon. I'm not just talking about the shell, I'm talking about the chin bar as well, which is unique. It's the first modular helmet in the world to have a full carbon chin bar too. Now this helmet weighs around 1,295 grams, depending on the size as always. It comes with an interior that can be reversed, so it has a cool side and a warm side depending on the weather, which is a very special feature, and also a double D retention system chin strap, which is, well, depending on your taste, I always find it to be very comfortable, and of course it defines the sporty character of a helmet. Now the visor on the AGV has a 190-degree horizontal line, so it's supposed to be very, very easy to look around in the helmet, but we'll find out when we go out for a ride. So without further ado, I think I'm going to continue the Eeny, Miny, Mo and end on Mo with the HJC RPHA90 and take this one out for a ride. About 20 minutes into the game, I've been riding around with the HJC RPHA90 and also with the Yamaha MT-07, which is actually quite a nice bike. Now we're going to pick up some speed and see how this helmet performs on the motorway, because at the end of the day, it's quite a sporty helmet. So let's see what happens. Well, I'm riding at 130 kilometers an hour right now, but I'll tell you what I think of it in a couple of minutes, because this is really, really loud. I don't want to scream at you. Okay, we can talk here. It's pretty quiet. Right, what do I think of this helmet? Well, first off, I was riding around at about 50 to 80 kilometers an hour for about 15-20 minutes before I took it on the motorway. As soon as I took it on the motorway, 100, 110, 120 kilometers an hour, up to 130, 35. It was actually yanking at my head quite a bit, to be very honest. Not aggressively, but moving around a fair bit. It feels absolutely perfect up to about 80, 90 kilometers an hour, but above that speed it's pretty bobs around a lot. As far as noise goes, the helmet does make a fair bit of noise on the motorway. Then again, you have to remember, most helmets make noise on the motorway, obviously not just this one, and it is a modular helmet, so it is going to make a little bit more noise than your average sporty full face helmet. Now I must remind you, this helmet is not necessarily a sports helmet. Obviously it's kind of a crossover between a tour and a sport, so we can't expect it to perform as a racetrack helmet, which we don't. Comfort wise, it feels very pleasant. Has a nice fit for my shape of head, which is kind of an oval shape. And it feels fine for my head. Control wise, this helmet feels cool. Sun visor is easy to use. When you try it out with your bare hands, it feels a little stiff. but with gloves on it feels perfect. It has a little notch that it clicks into to stay into place so it won't fall down or vibrate out of its shell in front of your eyes. So that's all been well thought out. The air vents are easy to control too, one on top which moves fairly easily, one on the front for the chin and one on the back which you have to locate, but when you've got it, you've got it. I must say that at this speed, which is like 50 kilometers an hour, it doesn't make that much difference. Mostly on top, not so much on the chin. I'm not sure if the rear is open or closed. Well, let's make our way back to the motorway so we can find out if the air vents do their job at higher speed. Even at high speed, it is not actually that easy to feel the difference when opening the air vents. It definitely makes a difference, but it's not as vast as when we tested the Schuberth C4 and the Neotec II by Shoei. Well, I've just left the motorway for the final time with the HJC RPHA90. Maybe not final forever, but for today. Now, what I think of the ventilation at higher speed is not much better than at lower speed, to be very honest. Now, it's not a particularly warm day. It's about 18 or 19 degrees Celsius, which is, you know, a typical Dutch summer, really. I've heard it's about to rain, can't wait. But ventilation-wise, it's not amazing. Let's move on to some more positive things. The visor and everything all feel great. The sight lines are perfect. It's a pretty safe design, really. What many companies are now doing is making their visors larger to give you more sight, but also reducing the strength of the chin bar, for example. Now, HJC have gone with quite a safe bet there. They've kept the visor to a normal and regular size, which makes the chin part much larger, and I honestly think that it feels at least much safer. Hopefully we won't have to test that, but at the end of the day, that is why we wear these helmets. So to sum the helmet up, comfort wise it feels great. Aerodynamic wise on the motorway, not as I'd expected. A little bit disappointed. It's not bad, but I did expect better. Sound wise, fairly noisy. I'm actually wearing my custom made earplugs, and even with those in, I think it is pretty noisy. But all the switches and all the knobs and all that kind of stuff are all easy to use. The sun visor is easy to put up and to pull down. The ventilation channels are easy to open. And also the system to flip open the helmet. I'm not going to do that because the microphone will fall out. But it's also, it feels sturdy. Pretty much what we're used to from HJC. I'm just around the corner from the Fotomoto shop in Amsterdam. And when I arrive there, I'm going to put on the AGV Sport Modular and go straight back out and see what that helmet does. AGV Sport Modular, you're up next. I've just come off the motorway with the AGV Sport Modular on my head. And before I tell you how it handles, let me first just rectify something I may have said in the previous ride that I did with the HJC. It has come to my attention that it is actually quite windy. So the bobbing around that the HJC did wasn't purely the helmet, it was definitely part of the wind as well. The AGV definitely does handle pleasant, and I would say much more so than the HJC. It feels a lot more stable even in the wind. At high speeds, 130 kilometers an hour, 140, 145, it feels very good. I must note that 130 kilometers an hour is the maximum speed in the Netherlands, so never go over that. It's not good. Noise wise, I think these helmets are both very comparable.
They're both not very quiet, to be very honest. They're not necessarily built to be quiet, they're built to be aerodynamic, comfortable, stable in the wind, and very light as well. And they do both feel very light. This one does surpass the other one. The ventilation panels on this helmet are something that I liked a lot more on the HJC. They were much easier to locate and to feel. This one over here, there it is. Yeah, that's open now. This one on the top. And on the back, I must tell you, I was playing around with the one on the back for about 2 minutes before I actually located it, because I know how it works, but I couldn't feel it. So with gloves on, the one at the rear, which is the outlet, and also a small spoiler, is pretty hard to locate and to use. However, the ventilation itself feels much better than on the HJC. It lets through a lot more air. I can definitely feel the difference when they're closed and when they're open. It's a really vast difference. Probably even better than on the Shoei Neotec II and on the Schuberth C4. This ventilation is excellent. And if we have a little chat about the viewing angle, it is actually very good. It has a 190-degree horizontal viewing angle, and that definitely shows, because you have a lot more sight at the side, so you don't have to look around as much when overtaking or going around corners. It feels perfect. So a little bit better than the HJC, but then again, it doesn't make much of a difference, as the HJC had fine viewing angles too. Not bad at all. Comfort wise, the helmet actually feels surprisingly good. When I first put this helmet on, I thought, yeah, okay, it fits nice, but not exactly my fit. But now I've had it on for quite a while, it actually does feel pretty comfortable. Definitely something I could ride with outside of work. Definitely. So let's sum everything up. The aerodynamics of this helmet are very good. I would say pretty much good to excellent. I did expect quite a lot from this helmet, to be honest, but then again, they did advertise with a flip-up helmet that's pretty much like a full face, and I would say they have done very well in delivering that. Comfort wise, the helmet feels good on my head. It feels nice, although not as well as the HJC RPHA90, which fits my oval shaped head a little better. The ventilation is excellent when it's open, but you do have to find how to open it, so that's I'm not a big fan of that. The visor though is very good, an improvement compared to the HJC, because the sidelines are much wider and you can see a lot more. Although these are fine margins, as the HJC does a great job at the visor too. Weight wise, this helmet is definitely lighter, definitely feels lighter, and therefore is more comfortable, especially when looking around at high speed. Definitely. Overall though, both helmets were very nice to ride with, although I do think if I had to pick a winner today, I'd probably take this one home. Alright, let's open up this helmet.
Turn off the ignition. Okay, well, if you could magically give me the RPHA90 so I can compare them. Thank you very much. Well, here's the HJC RPHA90, and this is the AGV Sport Modular. Now, there are a couple of points I want to compare them on and tell you which one I thought that has won in that category. Starting with the HJC, which definitely wins comfort-wise for my oval-shaped head. I thought it was much more pleasant to wear. And also, there was a lot less wind coming in from the bottom compared to the AGV. So that's something to keep in mind. However, ventilation-wise, the AGV Sport Modular definitely wins in my book. It was much more noticeable when opening the vents. It was easier to feel the cold air, felt much better than the HJC. But something I do have to say is that the vents on the HJC were easier to control. So keep that in mind too. Coming to the visors of both helmets and the viewing angles, the HJC does a fine job. Nothing wrong with the viewing angle, but the AGV did win, as it is just that little bit better due to the horizontal wider sidelines. If we take a look at the aerodynamics of the helmet, the AGV, as you might have already imagined, definitely does perform better at higher speed. It is more stable and it feels more comfortable looking around, probably also due to the full carbon shell, which weighs pretty much nothing for a helmet of this type. The underside of the helmet features a micro ratchet, stainless steel micro ratchet, which a lot of people will find more comfortable than the double D retention system on the AGV Sport Modular. However, that's a personal thing, because I do find this one to be very comfortable. Sun visors in both helmets are fine, easy to control. Apart from that, I've had a very pleasant ride with both helmets. This one starts at €479, so you can check all the colours out on our shop photomoto.com, and the AGV Sport Modular, which I'm currently wearing, starts at €699. So there is a difference in the price tags, but then again it does depend what kind of helmet you're looking for. Conclusion: if you're a sporty rider and you're looking for the ideal helmet that has the convenience of a modular helmet, then this is probably the one that you need. And if you're looking for more of a comfortable touring helmet with a little bit of a sporty character, then I'd say go for this one. Good luck with making your choice. Check out the rest of our videos on Photomoto on YouTube. Subscribe, like us, and we'll see you again next time.